Alien Romulus came out, and we want to talk about the most, right? We want to talk about the aliens. We don't want to talk about John Madden. We want to talk about aliens, maybe predators, a lot going on. But let's talk about Alien Romulus in our featured story of the night. We got to go into space for this one, everybody. Got to go into space. Alien Romulus is out. What?
My ex-wife right there on the screen.
Oh, jeez, GR.
I don't know, GR. You might want to deal with the alien more than your ex-wife.
Yeah, you.
Well, I think the alien is my ex-wife.
At least you don't have to pay child support.
What?
Yeah,
80 million. Well, $80 million budget. Alien Romulus made $108.2 million opening weekend. That's $41.5 million domestic, $67.7 million international. That whopping $108.2 million blew it out what they thought it was going to do. Rave reviews coming in. Of course, we're going to the prequel world here. We're going back in time. It's like a sequel, prequel. It's a mequel. Yeah, it's in the middle there. But I saw this opening day. I freaking loved it. I gotta say, return to form. Thank you so much, Fede Alvarez. Like, you're actually doing something that gives I would say, the audience something to be thrilled about for Alien again. I mean, Prometheus, Covenant. I love you, Ridley, but it was just like a lot of story. And I talk to a lot of people about this. A lot of story, not enough Alien kind of interactions. With people like want the shock value, the aliens. Like, we don't need a big plot for this, and this didn't have like a massive plot. It was all I needed. It was all I needed, and it tied into the original one. We brought back Rook. We had a bunch of different great stuff going on here. I would say overall, though, everybody, that's the one thing about Rook was, I think that, the CG wasn't the best. That was my one point. I'm like, of course you're de-aging him, and he's an android. It works. It works for me, but that's the least.
I think the Uncanny Valley works because he's a synthetic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's my one big gripe about the movie. And that fourth act, I was like, the fourth act, when we actually, like, all of a sudden we're delivering the alien baby, which I didn't think that was going to happen. Let's just get into spoiler world. I didn't think that was going to happen.
It has time to make back its money.
Right? It does. It's going to do. I think it's going to do really well. I think too. And I think it could have been setting up for a sequel. They could still do a sequel off this. But I really enjoyed this movie. I think the shock value was there. The acting was phenomenal. I think across the board, everybody did a great job. They knew what the parts they're playing. They got them really well. The kid who played the android too, like Andy, right? He was awesome. How he went from like with the staggering all the way through, like all of a sudden his British accent, he's going back and forth, but how he changed and merged and became that character. I loved it. I loved it so much. I'm happy. I'm excited to see if they go farther in the universe. Of course, we have the FX series coming out still with Timothy Olyphant. That is happening. That's in the can. That's coming out next year, which people asked me about before. There's so much Earth. Yep, it's all happening, which Lexi's excited about too, right, Lexi? So what do you think about this, Lexi? Happy early birthday. How was your alien experience? Did you get that alien bucket?
It was sold out.
They didn't have it at my theater either.
Well, apparently, like, Thursday, they sold out. Which I'm like, the movie fucking came out, like, Friday or something, right? Like, it just came out. And
it just came out Friday. Yeah.
So, yeah. That's insane. Those buckets,
they knew you
like,
wanted one, Lexi. That's where they didn't want you to have one.
I'm tired of this whole, like, sellers buying things up, ruining things for people who care about things. Like, I was like, I just wanted a bucket. Like, whatever. Anyway, so someone has something to say here, real quick, though. Oh, who's this? Why, it's the original human alien hybrid from Alien Resurrection. What's that? You have something to say? Oh, they stole your design. Oh, they did. I know. Ridley Scott totally ripped you off for this one. I know. It was his big hand that he put into this. That was the only way he could stick his dick into this movie, was to do that. You know that, right? Well, I know that you were written by, the guy who did the Avengers, but, it's fine. It's fine. You had your heyday. You're fine. We're done with you. So anyway, now there's a new human-alien hybrid, which is clearly based off of the Prometheus movies, which was a way to link his, weird little things that he made, Scott stuff, into the original Alien film, because this film takes place essentially after the Nostromo has been blown up. and it finds a way to kind of link everything together in this interesting way where it's sort of pulling the content of like, well, Ripley's off floating through space after the Nostromo's been blown up. These kids on like a mining world are just trying to like get their shit together and survive, and they take off and they go to this spaceship. But the thing is that when they go to the ship, that's where you start getting the stuff from Prometheus injected into it. And that's where you start getting the stuff from the newer films put into it, because it brings the elements of the goo into it and all that stuff. But then we have, which I thought was the best thing in it, was the idea of the bringing Bishop back, which Bishop was from the original film. Bishop was the android that goes insane in the very first Alien film. It turns out they all are named after chess pieces, so this one in this film was Rook. I liked that. I thought that was really cool. And they used the superimposing of the original actor over it, which, as we stated before, works very well in this because they're synthetics. And I like the idea of thinking that this dated synthetic is stuck on this station. They did a really great job of modernizing the sets while keeping the aesthetics of the original Alien film and really bringing that back. I think that was something that Prometheus lost. Prometheus was a very bad film when it came to making us feel like we were previous to anything going on in like the original Alien film. That was supposed to be a prequel to everything going on, and that didn't feel like a prequel, the way everything looked and felt. But if you think about it in the sense that Wayland sent their best high-tech people out, and then you look at this as like the way they treat miners and miner conditions and the way miners are first to live, and the poor people are supposed to live, basically. They get these like, you know, low-tech, shit-tier kind of tech and facilities, and I'm like, I like that. I like that aesthetic. I thought that worked really well. I like the idea that, you know, they brought some of the stuff from William Gibson in with the space station there. That was actually from his original writing of Alien 3. They brought some aesthetic pieces from the original Alien 3 film into this. They brought some aesthetic pieces in from Aliens. They brought some stuff from Alien. So if you're a fan of all of the original, and then of course, as I brought up my friends, which I'm going to bring up this guy now, if you're a fan of Resurrection, we've got the human-alien hybrid. So they found a way to bring all the original 4 quadrilogy films into this as like little bits of fan service, sort of in the way that the new Star Wars film did. The one with Ridley. That one did a good job of bringing all these little elements of the original Star Wars films in while going, we're doing our own thing.
The one with Daisy Ridley.
The Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens. Daisy Ridley.
No,
I was talking
about the prequel to. It's like a midquel. It came right before Episode 4. Rogue One.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about one afterwards.
We talked about that. Okay, sorry, my bad.
No, you're okay. But I thought that the new Star Wars.
I compared this one to
with
Rogue
Daisy
One.
Ridley. I thought that they brought a lot of those little elements in from the original films, while still saying, "Hey, fan service," but also we're doing our own thing. I think this film has a lot of fan service. That was one thing that I will say is my issue of a feeling of needing to go back to archetypes of Ripley in these films. There's not a necessity to go back to bringing us back to one woman with a machine gun. There's not a need for that in these films. I think this was a time where we really could have done a very unique, individualized Alien film, and we didn't. We really went back to tradition, and I didn't like that. And I think that with Alvarez directing it, I was expecting a massive splatterfest. I was expecting this to be over-the-top gore, and it really wasn't. It wasn't very violent for what I got. I really thought it was like toned down, and it really, I mean, if you watch the Evil Dead movies, those movies are over the top. I mean, those are insane. So you may have a friend. It's an alien. It's an alien. He's coming for you.
Where'd the dog alien go?
It's a face hugger. Oh my god. Right? His name is Pepe. But yeah, so I just felt like there was a lot of issues with the idea of we're not doing our own original ideas. but we had an opportunity to. And I think that with Alvarez could have taken his original horror ideas, and he could have taken those kids, and he kind of could have taken the horror back to Alien and really done an original horror idea with it, and still brought all of those elements that I loved about this movie together, bringing the first film in, having Bishop there, doing the stuff with Andy, which I thought Andy was a good character. I really did like that.
Oh, Andy,
I didn't hate the lead female. I thought she was great. I think there were some really great just ideas with the characters. I loved the idea of people just struggling and needing to get off of a planet, just trying to survive. I liked those ideas. I liked the modern sort of like struggles of capitalism that we all face being, brought up to light in this film. And I liked finally seeing how Wayland really affects us as people, because that's one thing that you truly never see in these films is how Wayland is affecting society. Yeah, because it's like you always see people who work for Wayland on a higher level, and that a corporation sucks, and the corporation sucks as a whole, but you never really see how Wayland is affecting Earth or the people on a day-to-day basis. And this movie really was like the first time. I mean, they completely screwed that girl over. She was like, I did my time. They're like, no, you don't. Boop. 15 more years on our planet. You're stuck here. And I'm like, wow, like this is so awful. Everything about it's awful. So in that situation, it's like, what's worse? Escaping to a ship and trying to figure out how to jack, a bunch of pods and dealing with the alien stuff, or that fate? I don't know what fate was worse. Genuinely.
Yeah, being stuck in the mine for the rest of her life and probably dying in that mine as well. At least she got out. She got out now, and she's traveling through space to a better place.
They explained in that mining situation that the people were dying in that mine.
We'll find out.
I mean, the mining sounded horrible. It sounded like they were dying from diseases down there. It sounded like they were dying from burns and all this other stuff. So it didn't sound like being in the mine was a better situation. I don't know what was the better.
It's all bad.
The action.
It's all bad. You're right. It is all bad.
Oh,
it's like you're going to die in a spaceship maybe, or you're going to die in a mine. It's like, what kind of life is that regardless?
But their plan was solid. They didn't know it was xenomorphy.
Yeah, they had no idea.
The plan was absolutely solid, yeah.
And I get Lexi that I was expecting probably more gore. It was kind of like a nice little song and dance, a little bit like not a swan song, but more of like a nice homage to the original, the spaceship and everything else, bringing back those little essence of. Yeah, but it could have been gorier. It could have been gorier, of course. It always could have been. Maybe they were trying to dance a fine line with
great action sequences.
Yeah, great action sequences.
Rated R.
Yeah, maybe they were still trying to be like maybe we should go too hard. I don't know.
I quite liked the zero-G xenomorph fight with the acid. That was
cool. That was really dope. Yeah, it was awesome.
That was pretty.
Like surfing through it.
I mean,
like,
yeah. There was definitely some highlights and some lows. I mean, it was definitely a roller coaster ride. I just think we can do better. I think
but it's better than Prometheus.
I think it's a course correct, but I think we can do better. And I don't and I think Prometheus, you know what though? When you see what they've done with Prometheus in this movie, because they've brought elements of Prometheus now into this, right?
Yeah.
Now that we have that, I feel like in a lot of ways you can go back and you can look at Prometheus and you can go, well, maybe now there's validity to this film. Maybe with this and that maybe we can look at Prometheus in a better light. Maybe there's a way that if we're going to bring these films together and sync them together in a proper way, because our problems with Prometheus as fans, I feel, and I'm not going to speak for all fans, but as a fan, our problem with Prometheus was that it just felt so disjointed from everything that we've been given so far. And it was made by the guy who did this. And so you want to accept it because you're like, it just is made by the guy who did it. So why wouldn't he? Direction. I mean, why wouldn't he want to help steer his lore, right? This is his lore. It's like, I guess it's like Lucas too. I mean, George Lucas did Star Wars. He's good at fucking his own stuff up too. But
Everybody does.
you
Who else started
want to
fucking up
give
than
him a little
yourself?
bit of credit. You want to hope. I mean, but that second film was bad that he did. That was where he
The
really.
Covenant?
I think that we could have thrown Covenant in the trash.
Yeah.
Said Prometheus was a hard watch, and then gotten this movie, and then we could have gone back and said, you know what? I think I can accept Prometheus now. Because Prometheus had some excellent scenes in it. And if we look at what they're doing now with this, and then seeing how they're linking things together a little bit better with this, because I think this film links everything perfectly. That was the one thing I think this film did really well, was it tied all of the film series together in a way that we finally have a cohesion. Everything is finally here, you know? I think that's what this does well. And I'm like, if we're going to do that, we finally did it well, then we need to take Covenant, we need to clip that fucker and throw it in the trash. We need to take Prometheus, and we need to inch it up, and we need to just go Prometheus to this film. You know what I mean?
Sad
Or
thing for you, though,
Prometheus to
they're working on the
Alien,
sequel to
this
Covenant. They're working on the sequel to Covenant with Ridley Scott.
I
so that's
know, and that's
also
bad.
in development. So that world's not done yet. But I would like just to keep this world and keep this going again. And of course, they'd probably try to bring Ridley in
This is
somehow.
better.
But I think though this is just it is like, and it even felt like it was 80s to me. Like, and you know what? It didn't have to be a grungy kind of 80s feel to it, like the spaceship, the time. I just like the feel of the set design.
His bullshit into this movie. That alien at the end, the alien human hybrid, it's not an alien human hybrid. It's the, what are they, architects or whatever?
The engineers, yeah, the engineers.
The engineers. It's an engineer alien hybrid. It wasn't a human, it was an engineer alien hybrid. It was his engineers with an alien body. That's all it was.
I love that at the end though. It was a great fight scene though at the end. It's like her actually fighting it. It was cool. I thought the movie was done. I was like, oh my god, there's like 20 more minutes of this movie.
I am not a fan of Humalians, and I will die on that hill.
So I have to ask, who wins? Or the new one? This guy?
You're asking me or the general public?
Everybody, the general public.
I mean,
in a fight or design wise?
The new one's
Joss
gone.
Whedon one or the new one? Well, let's say that they're not. Let's say we
don't talk about Joss Whedon these days.
Like,
yeah, it's a new one.
Talk about weird guys who like feet.
Yeah.
Well, according to Joss Whedon, that Walmart bought Wayland. So
there you go.
If you made that today, it would have been Amazon.
So, Rachel, you feel that strongly about it? Do you think that this didn't go far enough? Because you are also a fan of the franchise. Or do you think it was the kind of ride we needed right now to reinvigorate the franchise in a new direction?
I think it's right in the middle. I would say in the scope of the films, I would rank this. I usually rate the Alien films just straight up 1, 2, 3, 4. They decline in quality as they come out. I think this one fits right in the middle. Right between 2 and 3. I think it had a lot of really good parts to it. I liked the concept. I liked the way they referred to the other movies, like subtly, like it was more of a wink than a look at this, like Star Wars likes to do. So I think it did a lot of things right. I don't think they put enough money in the goo budget. These Alien movies are moist. There is goo dripping everywhere all the time. There was not enough goo in this. Look at that. Look at all that goo in film. That's a proper amount of goo. Give me the goo.
That's a wet alien. That's a
very
wet alien.
Yeah, I'm not messing around. Ugh.
So, who's wetter, that human alien hybrid or the one in the new one?
That human alien is wetter. It wins.
See?
And
yeah,
it has,
it's so wet.
We can talk about 4 in its own thing. But staying on topic for this one, I think it was interesting in a lot of ways. I think it failed in some ways, but I think it was overall a pretty good, solid return to form. You're not going to get anything that's going to be as good as Alien and Aliens. So I think it's unreasonable to expect anything to be as good as the first two, especially with Sigourney not being a part of it anymore.
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot of room in that timeline for stories. Because the first Alien and the second Alien are 70 years apart. And then the second and the third are like another little, they're not too far apart. They're pretty close together. But the third and the fourth are 200 years apart. So you've got a 300-year timeline to play in here. You've got a lot of space to work in. And if you include the prequels, you've got even more space. So you got a lot to work with. I would love some more AVP. I love Predator. Predator
How
is
about
my
Blomkamp's? Where's Blomkamp's Alien? Why didn't we ever get that one?
Didn't happen.
I would love the Blomkamp Alien. It sounded good.
It would have had this in it. It would have had this in it. It was supposed to have the Kenner toys. It had the ATAC suit, for God's sakes. That's insane. I would have loved to see that movie. They literally wanted to put the fucking ATAC suit in that movie.
What?
I'm like,
Spielberg an Alien movie. He can do it.
I would have loved to have seen, there was an idea at one point. It was Alien versus Predator versus Ash from The Evil Dead. I would have loved to have seen that. It was a thing they were trying to develop for years.
The shark a little bit.
Fucking great.
I think that's one
fucking great.
I don't know.
One verse too
great.
far. I'm interested to see how or if this ties into the TV series that's coming out next year. I'm just kind of interested in the TV series in general. I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But overall, I think this was a solid movie. It wasn't my favorite in the franchise. I wasn't mad at it. So, it's there.
I think that was right. Like, returning to form a little bit.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it again. Why not? I mean, it's a fun movie. It is like getting in the right direction, I would say, too, for all the Alien stuff. Or actually getting back to, like, return to form a little bit. But I agree with you. It could be
I was
like
really surprised how many people were in the theater.
Oh, mine was full. Mine was packed too. The theaters
we had to go to our secondary choice of theaters because our first choice is Alamo Theaters. We really like them. All the good seats were booked.
Wow.
So we ended up going to AMC instead.
That's, I mean,
I wanted AMC's bucket more. AMC's bucket was cool. It was like the clear tube with the little like facehuggers crawling around the outside of it. It was.
I did not even see that.
Yeah, so there's like 3 different bucket types. There was like one with a facehugger on the outside of it. There was the alien penis one.
There was the alien
which was the
head. That was at Regal.
Yeah.
I don't know if have you seen people taking the alien penis head and putting it with the Dune bucket?
I have not. That sounds amazing. Yeah, I want to see that online.
Yeah. And then there was the one that AMC had that was like the containment tubes, like like the tubes they put the facehuggers inside of.
I'm looking for
the
these.
tube was open. And it was like the facehugger crawled out of the tube and was wrapped around the outside of the containment unit. It's so cool. It was like my favorite one. So that's why I wanted to go to AMC. I was like, well, if you're going to get me a bucket, I'm going to get this bucket. And I'm like,
are these the
no
buckets?
Bucket for you, bitch.
No bucket. Sorry, no bucket
just
for you tonight.
Just a regular popcorn.
Bucket.
Yeah.
All right.
GR, are you shocked this movie's doing so well? That's making its money back with this? And you think this is going to lead to even more spin-offs and stuff off of this franchise?
Brian, this is not my genre. I saw the first one decades ago. The rest of them fall under the Gilligath heading for me.
But GR, what about the popcorn buckets, GR? What about the popcorn buckets?
No, thanks. She can have all the buckets she wants.
Look at that. Great. I want all of those. I want the one facehugger on the outside of it too. But I love the containment one.
Then you can put popcorn in and eat it, and that's it. Throw it away when you're done.
You know what you do? You get that facehugger one with a
machine at home, so I use it at home.
You get that facehugger one, and then you take glow sticks, you break them open, and you fill them with.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
No, Lexi, I don't do that. I'm sorry. I'm not breaking the glow sticks open. I couldn't care less.
From a storyline point of view, I think it's really stupid for aliens to want to crossbreed with humans. It just makes them weaker.
Yeah, because they're so strong as it is. Like, they're the strongest thing ever. Like, you would think that they're like a superior version of us. Like, they're already taking their body and growing inside of us. Right. Like, why would you want to merge with us too when you're already going to destroy us?
Yeah, you want the Predalien. The Predalien.
Unless you're trying to like take over the world somehow, so you're trying to like implement yourself in society,
Well, that's
so you
what the
can
aliens
like.
will do. They'll come down here, they'll kill all the
Alien.
humans, and they'll populate the Earth.
You want to combine yourself with a bull.
A bull, like a bull.
No, you want to combine yourself with a predator.
Yeah,
That's a badass.
I still like to see more
Predalien?
Predator Alien.
I'm not
Predalien.
fucking with that.
No, that'd be fucking insane.
right.
I don't think you want anything to do with that
Have
shit.
you ever seen a
Oh.
Have you ever seen a Praelian? There's Praelians. They exist. Praelians have the little four. You know, the predators have the four things there. They got that. The aliens. They got the Praelians are badasses. Right.
Well, I gotta tell you, I'm excited to see where this all goes.
They can fight.
Apparently, according to this
The
new
war
movie,
is on.
Just taking it one
they see
day at
the
a time.
Amen to that, Peppy.
What were you saying, Rachel?
Lexi, can we get a close up of the Humalian with its eyes?
Yes.
We have
Alien?
to.
Oh yeah. Let me do that for you. I can make that extra creepy for you.
Yeah, the Humalian has eyes. And in 4, in the film, they don't look like little void skull eyes like that. They look like big old like doe eyes. So they can
Weird.
manipulate your emotions.
That's
They
a
look,
gray alien.
they look at you like, and then you're supposed to not want to kill it.
Newborn.
Yeah, and then its little nose thing, the little tip of its nose thing wiggles. If you remember
Yeah, that's
correctly.
gross. This
Yeah.
alien movie was not gross enough. It needed to be more gross.
That's a very valid point. I didn't even think about that. You're right. It could have been gross. It could have been gooier, oozier, more moist.
It needed way
And,
more goo. It needed
yeah,
more goo. It needed more wetness.
Yes, I mean,
Needed more- and then one thing I had a problem with too was acid in this movie worked on and off. Like it would be like, oh, the acid's burning through here, but then it would like periodically stop. And I was like, I've seen in alien films acid burn through 8 decks of a ship. You know what I mean? Because they explain it's pure sulfuric. But then I've also seen like in this film, it'll melt through like one layer of a floor, but then like nothing. So it was like it felt like it was like
No.
yeah,
They
but that's what
destroyed
I mean. Like it was on and off. It was like half of it would be this way, but then half of it would be this way, and it felt like it felt on and off. The acid would work sometimes this way, but sometimes not. And I don't like that. I want consistency with the acid. The way
I really like the synth, the brother guy,
Yeah,
Alan.
Yeah.
He was great. I liked how they played his character in the beginning. You're not quite sure if he's maybe a developmentally challenged human, but then you learn that he's a developmentally challenged synth, which is really interesting for me. I think that's a really interesting way to take that character. And then he gets the upgrade. Ooh, let me just knock over my water. Then he gets the upgrade. And he becomes a totally different character, and it rewrites his like motives, and it's really interesting. The way they
it
took
goes from
that
like
character. I thought
protecting her. You know what I mean? It changed everything.
Yeah. The relationship with him and Rain was really nice. I really liked that. And I liked all the kids. I thought all the kids had really were decent actors. I don't think there was anything wrong with them. I liked that it was a band of teenagers instead of a bunch of adults who like have more awareness of how to handle a situation.
Yeah.
So I think that was interesting.
And the face huggers
I
come
like
from.
Unfortunately, Queen.
I feel like that each alien film has its own kind of unique way that the robot goes. It's like you never know if in this alien film the robot's going to be your friend or if it's going to be your enemy. And each alien film very unique in the way the robot is going to work with you or not work with you. It's one thing that's
Look at Walter.
always unique with those. I like that. That's the one
like
thing
the
Alien does.
Yeah.
The synths are like my favorite part of Alien, genuinely.
Yeah.
And I like that they have talked about like there's different evolutions of them and different models, and like that's one thing you could almost make a film about the synths in the Alien universe in and of itself. You know what I mean?
I feel like they can do that with Covenant. They really leaned into the Walter and the David and the different characters. Fassbender, you know, they kind of started going that direction.
They were fascinating. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that done better because I think that was done interesting but failed. Yeah, like that was a weak part of the film
actor
that
too.
could have been done better. Yeah, wonderful actors.
You know,
there was a lot of good in Prometheus that just didn't hit.
Yeah.
There was a lot of great things in that film.
And this is going to start everything over again. Again, there's more Alien coming. We have the TV show. We have another, Ridley Scott movie
And
coming.
this is very much set up for a direct sequel.
100%. They definitely did. I honestly, I really thought it was going to be her like getting pregnant or alien bursting out at the very end of the movie. They go to credits, but we got to see that whole fight scene. So I was for it. But they still have it set up. The seeds are there for another one. I think it's going to happen. I think it's just a matter of time. It's going to happen. Like Betty will come back. It's going to happen, guys. And I think it's great.
I don't know how you're going to do an Earth hive though. Like, you're fucked. Like, that's the one thing I just can't get over.
Maybe that's how the Earth got fucked.
Yeah.
Like, we're done. We're dead. Like, there's no surviving aliens. Aliens are not survivable.
No. It's intriguing, though. They're trying to figure this out. This franchise from the past, bringing it back in a way that's everyone's talking about, and they're doing so many versions of it. And if you lean into that horror, you lean into that world with the suspense, and people are talking about aliens all the time now, too. I think it'd be something great. I'm excited about the TV show. Timothy Allen, happening. I'm here for it, too. Great job, guys. You started up. But it can really always be better, but I think it's a great kickoff to the Alien franchises coming back. Happy birthday, Lexi. Hope you had a great time watching this. And thank you all again. It was fun. Alien, everybody. Aliens. It's so good. Anyways, we got to get going. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for being here on Cruise Control, as always. Happy Monday. Appreciate you taking us with us. 163 people. I don't know who you all are, but thank you for being here on Cruise Control. Round of applause, team. Numbers are going. We appreciate you out there joining us, and kicking back. Comment more though. Have a good time.
Like and subscribe.
There you go.
Always subscribe.
Always subscribe. Come on, make those numbers keep going up. Try to hit the 2,000 by the end of the month. We're almost there. Yeah, we do by the end of the month. I know we can make it happen. What was that, GR?
Please like and subscribe and join our Patreon if you can.
Oh, sorry. Peppy just took over right there. Peppy's like, I'm going to say it instead.
Yeah, how bossy he is.
I know.
Please like and subscribe. Thank you for checking out the channel.
Peppy, enough, man. Enough. Okay.
You're right. He just wants his snickety snacks.
He does. Well, GR, thank you for being here. Thirsty Daddy, Stone Cold Thirsty Daddy himself. Good look. Thank you for being here. GR, Waters.
My pleasure. You pull that.
One more time.
That's fantastic.
it's great. Thank you for being here.
Good.
Miss Lexi Covill, thank you for being here. Cruise Control, as always, appreciate you. Great to see you again. So happy to see you with the Alien. Props, it's amazing. Props always help the show.
More. There's always more. This book's really old. It's like probably from when GR was born. Or probably before GR was born.
Oh, that ain't getting old jokes, bitch.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.